There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now. Welcome, everybody, to The Psychic and the Doc here on the Transformation Network. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer, and I'm here with the incomparable and amazing Dr. Pat Baccili, who is my esteemed co-host. And Dr. Pat is not only the host of the Dr. Pat Show, which has been on the air for 2 decades, she's also the founder of the Transformation Network, which brings you dozens of uplifting, positive talk radio shows. We have a really great show for you tonight. The theme is Charity starts in your heart. And this is a call-in show. We will be taking calls from listeners. The number is 1-800-930-2819. So Dr. Pat, charity starts in your heart. I know you've got a take on that one. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I thank you, Mark, and thank you so much. And I know that this is charity being part of the heart is part of not just the conversation we're having tonight. And I want to encourage all of you to call into the show because there's something else going around that Mark and I are going to talk about, something that I am acutely aware of. Every year it happens. Linda's also right on top of it. And it has to do with people that have been in our lives where this world, their earth skin has just been too much for them. Now, in our culture, we call it suicide. But charity does begin in the heart. And let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about what that really means. I don't think that I got to that place to understand this until I could understand gratitude, Mark. Now, it's been a long journey for me in getting to that place. It's been a long journey for me to understand how to be grateful, even when the worst things in my life have happened. Losing my mom and understanding how to move from that, her suicide, accepting a stepmom. I hate that term stepmom, but I don't know what else to call it, right? For people to get it. All right, so stepmom. She was like my second mama.
Right.
But her being in my life, she taught me about charity, beginning in the heart. I would have never gotten that. I wouldn't be the person I am today. Now add on Linda's parents, Joan and Bjorn Firing, who after all the moms died young, taught me about love and charity. What is it we mean? See, Mark, what you do every day, when you speak to people and you connect with their loved ones in spirit, that's charity of the heart.
Thank you. I believe that it is. And I want to back up just a bit with charity starts in the heart. There was something my mother always used to say to me. She said, never overlook yourself. And charity beginning in the heart means that we must be charitable to ourselves. And that doesn't mean, be greedy, be materialist. This is loving yourself. Be charitable to yourself. Be kind to yourself. So many people go through life. I read something like 90% of Americans are unhappy with their physical appearance. And it's like, gee, I wonder why. You look at ads in magazines, on social media, on TV, everybody's supposed to be these photoshopped looking people. And when we don't look like that, we tell ourselves, I hate my body. Or you don't get the dream job you want. I hate my job. I hate my life. I hate this. be charitable to yourself.
Mhm.
Treat yourself with compassion and kindness, because once you're able to do that, then you'll be able to be charitable to other people. It all starts here.
Yeah.
And Dr. Pat, I think there's another aspect to this.
Are we going to talk about Mother Teresa?
We might, but we might. But character is doing the right thing when no one is looking.
That's right.
And I think that ties into being it to charity starts in the heart. Because, it's one thing when you go and you do something, you say, look at me, I'm doing this great work of charity, or you do something that's positive or helpful to another person without ever trying to or hoping to get noticed for doing it. And once again, I think that starts with our own self.
Yeah. Mother Teresa died on September 5th, 1997, at the age of 87 years old. And why am I bringing it up? Because we've heard Mother Teresa's name float around, sometimes in humor, right? I mean, once upon a time, I think Saturday Night Live did something.
They did. I remember what it was.
They did something crazy like that. But they did it they did it really in a way to demonstrate how absolutely, Mark, the definition you gave is doing something when nobody's looking. Now, by the way, we know Mother Teresa. And for those of you that are like, no, I don't, I'm not, go look her up. Go look at what she did, because she hasn't always been known as Mother Teresa. So let's talk about that. That is a level of character. Can I call it a calling?
Oh, with her,
It's a
with
calling.
everybody, but Mother
Teresa,
who is now, according to the Catholic Church, she has been sainted. She is Saint Teresa of Calcutta. But despite that, I think she'll always be known as Mother Teresa. And I think she would have preferred. I don't think she would have wanted to be sainted. That's how humble, that's how charitable she was.
Yeah. And I want to say this to Mark's point for all of you today, because we're really going to help with this. 1-800-930-2819. I want to take the definition Mark gave you, and I want to give you the layer that he alluded to. Generosity and helpfulness, especially towards those needy or suffering. Aid given to those in need. So here's to Mark's point. You have to recognize when you are in need, when you are in suffering, when you are in pain, because this is when you have to really look at what you're going to give yourself. And we're here to tell you, you deserve it. You're worth it. You don't really need to do anything in life but be you, despite what you're going through, despite the pain, despite the suffering, despite whatever you may be carrying from decades, your loss. How many shows have we done? So many of these shows where you and I are speechless sometimes for words.
Yeah.
But today's show is about you. And we know many of you call in, you've lost children, you've lost parents, you've lost people that could no longer be on the earth. You have to have that charity in your heart for all. That's why today's show is very special for both of us. 1-800-930-2819. The other thing, Mark, I want to ask you about is, I've always had a little problem with the misuse of the word charity. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It gets thrown around. Why do, we don't live in a charity society. Well, yeah, we do. You know what? Why do I have to do that for that person? Well, because they can't do it for themselves.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to give that guy on the street that $1. Okay. Why? Because you have a feeling about that guy on the street that's begging. I was that guy on the street. And I'll tell you, when I'm sitting there at the Port Authority and I'm begging for money, I got to tell you, I needed that money. Because the other alternatives.
Starvation.
But this is what you're talking about, Mark, when you're saying charity begins in the heart, and you have to begin with you, because if you begin with you, then you don't see that person on the street in the same way anymore. Do you, Mark?
No, you don't. And there's so many people that don't understand what it's like to be that guy on the street. One of the most endearing things, or one of the most, I mean, Mother Teresa said so many incredible things, but she said nothing is worse than meaning absolutely nothing to anyone. And one of the reasons that she did her charitable works in Calcutta, and she formed a religious order, the Sisters of Charity, once again, there's charity, to administer to the poor and downtrodden in the streets of Calcutta, one of the poorest cities in the world. And so many people would go to Calcutta because they wanted to work with Mother Teresa, and they couldn't take it. After a week, maybe two, they left because it was just so overwhelming. And her spiritual journey included years of not believing in a higher power, God, at all. And when you think that, wow, Mother Teresa doubted the existence of God. So when people tell me, I don't know if I can believe in God, it's like, well, you're in very good company, because if Mother Teresa could doubt the existence of God, then why not you?
Mm.
And
Doubt,
yeah,
Mark, isn't doubt a great teacher?
it most certainly is, because
Don't you think it taught Mother Teresa something?
it did. It taught her, without doubt, how can you have faith? Because eventually she came back around
Yeah.
to have that faith. It's a very, you think about these poor Ukrainian soldiers who are
Oh,
standing up.
mm,
Are they believing in God in the trenches? Are the
mm,
people in Gaza and Israel, and people all over the world, are people that are homeless on the streets of this country? How can you believe?
mm.
And I mean, we're not here tonight to depress anyone, but we're trying to
No.
give you perspective.
And we want to
And
help you to find that place in your heart to love yourself. That is an overused word. So today we're using charity, Mark,
yes,
as a word. But you cannot do for somebody else what you cannot do for somebody else what you can't do for yourself. And so this is what's so cool about this. This is why we love taking your calls, because we want to be able to help you, even if it's to put a hand out and help you rise up. Maybe if it's to put another quart of fuel in your own emotional tank, right?
yeah,
Maybe it's for you to think a little bit and celebrate somebody in your life that you know and love that is given so selflessly. But at the same time, we want to give to you today. This is a show to help you sit up, rise up, and still honor all that you've lost. What do you think for that? What do you think about that, Mark? Right?
I can't argue there, Dr. Pat.
Not an easy task.
Well, that's why we're here. And for all the listeners, this, I always say, and Dr. Pat agrees, this is part of our ministry. Dr. Pat, you've dedicated your life to helping people. You've worked with women who have been through the most horrific experiences. As a medium, I work with helping people cope with the loss of a loved one by presenting evidence that their loved ones haven't disintegrated. And then we decided to join forces, if you will, to put our unique skill sets together to help people. And, people think that, oh, you got a show, you must be rolling in dough. Dr. Pat and I don't get paid to do this show.
We don't.
We don't get
We
paid to
don't
do
have
this show.
any sponsors. We don't. This is like we decided to keep this show really pure and not have other people govern the way this show rolls.
Yes, because once you get sponsors, well, we want this, we want that. We don't have anybody's agenda except the listeners.
Yeah.
And so 1-800-930-2819.
Yep.
Dr. Pat, what do you say we take a short break and then
Let's
we
do it.
go to the phones?
Let's do it, everybody. We'll be right back. 1-800-930-2819. Jennifer, we see you. We hear you. We're going to hear you live in a minute. Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to The Psychic and the Doc. And right now, Emily, let's go to the phones. I know we've got somebody waiting patiently.
Yep. Up first, we have Jennifer from Dallas. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are
Thank
you
for
tonight?
taking
How
my
can we help
call.
you? You're welcome.
I have two things. First thing is that I find myself constantly being drawn toward wanting to help people and, trying to figure a career of some sort to help people and make a difference in their lives. But I just waver so much as to what that looks like. And so that was the first thing, to see if you get any ideas as to where I'm headed. And then the second one would, I guess, be for Mark, would be if he has any information from my little dog that passed away on Easter.
Okay, let Dr. Pat, could you start this one off?
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jennifer, great question. I've worked with a lot of people, mostly women, asking the same question. So let me tell you what happened. When I moved to Seattle, I was lost. I had so many losses in my life at that point. I moved across the country. I didn't have a job. I was rejected by schools. And what I found myself was wanting to help others, but I didn't know. Do you know what I did? I looked up in the area I'm in, who can I volunteer to help? Who can that be? And what happened was, in the Seattle area, I found more people. Now, you get an option with this. And why am I telling you to do this? This is a great place to start, because when you volunteer, you're not stepping into something that you're going to be kind of attached to for the rest of your life. But for example, I volunteered to the Chicken Soup Brigade, where we made food and meals in the kitchen. I had the funnest time. I'm telling you, it was crazy. And then I volunteered to a hotline, and you can be trained to volunteer to various hotlines. Then I volunteered to one of these senior places, right? And what I did was bring dogs in, right? Do you know what I'm saying? And I had to learn about that. So this is the way that you get your juices flowing, because you have a big heart and you want to do good in the world, but you also want the good that you do in the world to match up with what you really want in life. Do you see? Does that make sense to you?
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Now you live in an area, right? I believe you live in the Dallas Fort. You live in Texas or something? Okay.
Dallas.
Dallas is not a small city, so there are places, right? It's no different than, I think it's around the same size as Seattle, but I don't know for sure. And by the way, if you don't want to do that, Dallas is not far from other cities in adjacent states. So you're really not limited. The other thing now with the world and Zoom, there are also other places you can volunteer and do things. But you're going to have to do your research on it. Are you willing to do that?
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Being of service is the first place. Yeah. So this is really, when you start to look, Jennifer, what's going to happen is you're going to see different things out there, and you're going to be thinking, wow, I wish I could do that, or I could be that. So by being of service, you will see that, one, doors will open, two, that you'll discover what you like and don't like, and you will find your place. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, very much so.
Okay. And I think Dallas, please correct me if I'm wrong. I had some relatives in Dallas. I think it's close enough to other places that if you decided to do something can I tell you the other thing I volunteered to do? I volunteered to do the, I don't know their name, but they take dogs. They take animals in that are not, what do you call that? When they've been left on the street. I'm not allowed to mention their names. Rescue. Thank you.
Rescues, yeah.
Rescue. They are desperately in need of help.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
And that may be, if I may jump in here.
Please do. Thank
Jennifer,
you, Mark.
I know you want to hear from your dog in spirit, and I'm not saying run out and get another dog as a replacement, but that may be, by helping that shelter for the rescues, may be a good way to help you work through your grief, because one of the best ways to cure, well, when I say cure, to cope with grief is to do charitable works, helpful works for somebody else. Because we got other callers on the line, so I want to try to make this as quick as possible. But was your dog? You said it was a little dog. Was it a mixed breed?
It was a little dachshund.
It was a dachshund. Okay, because I'm picking up on a mixed breed dog. So it was 100% dachshund. It didn't have any other in there.
As far as I know, it couldn't. I just didn't know it. Maybe I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know if your dog was running a fever prior to passing? And the reason that I'm saying this is because the spirit of the dog that's connecting with me, it just feels very, very hot physically. And that could mean that this animal was running a fever or could have had a cancerous condition, because a lot of times when a spirit connects with me and I get a burning sensation, that means cancer. Does any of that make sense to you?
Yes. I think maybe cancer.
Okay. And you had to put this animal down, or you were considering it?
No, we had to put her down. Mm-hmm.
Had to put her down? Because I'm getting that you were really resisting that decision, but she's really sweet too. And she said that you made the right decision. You made the right decision. Because she was in such agony and pain. It's like I just feel this burning, like I feel like I'm just overcome with heat. So this animal was suffering terribly and is now released from that. Now, what's with the squeaky toy? And I know everybody has dogs and they have squeaky toys, but she's talking about this one squeaky toy, and it looks like it was yellow. Did this dog have a yellow squeaky toy?
I don't. It could very well have one, but I don't recall it right off the hand.
Okay. Anyway, I'll leave that with you.
But yeah, she, and I was worried that maybe I waited way too late to put her down.
No, that was the time. That was the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Please let go of that. Can you please let go of that? Okay, let me explain why. The only thing that counts is your love. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And these decisions, I have to tell you, it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. It really was. And it was even harder to follow a practice that they do in the Pacific Northwest that I wasn't aware of. And, that is to do something like this at home. But I want to say this to you. You did nothing wrong. You were guided by her to do exactly what you did at exactly when you did it. You understand? Everything is energy.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You were not alone in the decision making of this. Can you see that, Mark? Is that correct?
Absolutely. And the thing you have to keep in mind, Jennifer, is that was the day that animal was supposed to transition. And what's happening is you're experiencing, if I may, survivor's guilt. And, people normally think of that in a human context, but it applies to animals as well, because this creature you loved her and she was part of your family. But that was when she was supposed to go. And she also acknowledges, you were doing everything you could to keep her well, keep her alive, but it was her time. It was her time. And her passing was gentle and compassionate. And she knows that you were considering against it and delaying it, not because you were in any way being malicious, but she understands that was simply out of love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, now get on looking for places to do some service work, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, you bet.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Service work when I moved here saved my life. I'm not kidding. Emily, who do we have next?
Up next, we have Nicole from New York. Nicole, you are live.
Hi, Nicole. Welcome to the Psychic and the Doc.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm okay. All is good.
Nicole,
What can we help you with?
Yeah, how can we help you, Nicole?
I was just wondering, my parents passed away, and I was just wondering, if they see what's going on.
Well, they do. Let's see what they have to say. You got to realize spirits are pure energy. They zip around at the speed of light, and they're always around you. And I got a woman coming through who she had real dark hair. And I feel that she liked coloring her hair a lot. She liked darker hair. And what I'm getting with her now, this could be your mom, but it could be another spirit. But there's a female energy coming through for you. She liked dark hair. She liked going out on the weekends. I see her like getting all dressed up to go out on the weekends. And I'm feeling. Did your mom like to dance a lot? Because I feel like I want to get up and start dancing.
Well, she had bad knees, so she could be dancing up in heaven.
Oh, so she's dancing. All right, she had bad knees here. Now, she keeps showing me a blouse that is striped. It's got like could be red stripe, white stripe, red stripe. Is there some type of striped blouse either that she had or that you have? She keeps showing me the striped blouse.
I have a blouse of hers. I don't think it's striped. I think I have a red sweater, though.
A red sweater? Okay, she keeps showing me something like this and a white pleated skirt. Is that her or is that you that wears the white pleated skirt?
No.
Oh, be careful with the no. I want you to put that down. There's something about a white pleated skirt that she's bringing up. Okay. And she said that, she keeps showing you like having a problem with either the locks on your doors or maybe there's some issue with your doors and your locks. Now, I don't want you to give out a personal information, okay? But there's some issue with the locks, the keys, something with the doors. Does anything there? It could be something recently or a memorable episode, but she keeps talking about that.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay. What are you doing about that? You going to get that taken care of?
Yeah, I am. Actually,
all right. Well, see, you wanted to know if your parents were around, okay? And your dad, where there's a man with her that I believe is your dad, and he came in. It's funny, I got a big mug of coffee tonight, but he's got this big mug of coffee. And I know lots of people like coffee, but is there something about you or your dad with coffee? Like you love it, you hate it, but I'm getting this big mug of coffee.
I could relate to that.
Why do you say that?
Because he used to love coffee.
Well, that's a yes. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's see what he wants you to know. And when you come in and out of your residence or maybe where you work, are there some stairs or just a couple stairs? Because they show you like almost slipping, but catching yourself recently. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, the other day I did.
Okay. Once again, you asked, are my parents around? Do they see what's happening? Your mom wants you to get your locks taken care of. Your dad said, be careful. You almost slipped. So you asked and they have delivered. All right. And the thing is, your dad said, keep your eye on the peach. Keep your eye on the peach. Now, that's a weird expression. I don't know if I've ever heard keep your eye on the peach. Now, a peach can mean a number of things. It can mean you love peaches, hate peaches, your dad loved or hated peaches. Peaches are also one of my triggers for the state of Georgia. So there could be some connection with you or your family with Georgia or visits there, or a name like George or Georgia or Jordan. It could be any of that or your interpretation of a peach. Would be more important than mine. But he keeps saying, keep your eye on the peach.
There you go. I've been trying to go to the peach farm for the past 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. So, Dr. Pat, is your prescription she needs to go to the peach farm this weekend?
Get yourself some white peaches. Go to that peach farm. Okay. Oh my God.
All
It's a
right.
season too. You know, the white peaches this year are really, really good.
All right, I'm going now.
You
All
better
right.
go because pretty soon they're not going to be there, right?
I know. I'm going to go.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
Thank you. Get
Thank
one
you.
from me. Get one from me. I love
Boy, I
white.
mean,
I
keep your
love-
eye on the peach. What a
Oh
message. That
my
was
gosh.
great.
I mean, she's like 3 weeks and she's not at the farm. Come on. I'm going to come over there and I'll take you to the farm.
I can
All
almost
right.
taste the peach
Oh
cobbler.
my God, she's
Okay.
got me like, I'm like salivating.
I know. I
about the
want peach cobbler with vanilla ice
I got to
cream.
tell you, Linda is the queen of white peaches, loves the white peaches and nectarines, right? So when you started talking about peaches, I was thinking, oh my God, we just cut one up today for lunch. Okay, Emily, who do we have?
Okay, we have Karen from New Jersey. Karen, you are live.
Hey, Karen, welcome to the show, Psychic and the Doc Show. Just in
Hi,
case you
how
thought
are
you were
you?
calling into something else. Good. How are you?
I'm okay, surviving.
All right, speak up.
I'm surviving.
Oh, then that means I got to turn you over to Mark.
Okay, Karen. All right. Karen, how can we help you?
Yeah.
Karen, remember, we're on radio and every second counts and we're running out of time. What can I help you with?
Okay. I have a situation that I would like to know how it's going to turn out, if that's a possibility. And
I need some more.
soon.
I need some more focus than that, because see, your spirits may say your situation is you're not drinking enough water and you're dehydrated. And the thing is, they are saying that. And I'm
Yeah.
getting a female energy connected to you through your mother's side of the family. Now, it could be a mom or an aunt or a grandmother. But I'm getting a woman there who's telling me dehydration, and they're focusing on your kidneys. They're also focusing on your liver, your urinary tract. It seems like all your filtration organs that need to be flushed with water. She's bringing particular focus to that. Plus, I'm getting a metallic taste in my mouth. Now, this is from the spirit. The metallic taste would indicate that this woman was taking medications prior to passing, because I get a metallic taste in my mouth. It could also indicate some type of neurological issues. That's one of the indicators I get with a metallic taste. But with her passing, I'm getting this deep labored breathing, not unusual with someone prior to passing, but then all of a sudden her heart and lungs stopped. So it feels to me that her passing was not an unexpected event, but when she did go, I get that she had been she was under some type of medical supervision, could be hospice or other medical care. She was being made as comfortable as possible. And then when she passed, it was very peaceful. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, complete sense.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the situation? Because your mom's here with about literally 8 other spirits, and we're just going to focus on your mom because we got another caller. What is the situation you need guidance with?
I am in limbo with my house situation. A development was put in, and it's affecting my home.
Okay. And are you considering putting this up for sale? Because I keep seeing a for sale sign.
Yes.
Your mom says, do it. Do it. She said, it's time you fly the coop. She said, don't be attached. Don't be anchored. Don't be anchored. Don't be anchored.
Well, there's a lawsuit in regard to it at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm in the middle of it, and it's been going on for it'll be 2 years.
Okay. Tell us more about that, because this may be more just advice. And remember, even though I'm an attorney, I'm not licensed in New Jersey. I'm not a real estate attorney, so I'm not going to give you any legal advice. Okay.
Right. I guess.
All right. I'm sorry, Karen. I don't mean to be like this, but you have to speed it up a bit, because once again, this isn't like a private reading with me where you can take your time. We're on air and we've only got a limited amount of time. So with all due respect, please pick up the pace.
Well, just in regard to the situation, if it's going to end anytime soon.
Not a chance. And when I say not a chance, I mean not in 2024. They're showing me February, March of 2025, which in the legal system is light speed. So even though that's, I know, because everything illegal, oh God, let me tell you, I dealt with that forever. You know, you want something and, oh, the other side has an objection. Oh, we'll set it for a hearing 60 days from now, but I'm getting February, March of next year. And then boom, you'll be out of it.
Okay, and you said there were 7 spirits around, but you were focusing on the woman.
Yes, because this is just a short reading, and like I said, because we've got to get to other people as well. So I'll leave that with you.
Very good.
And I want to thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. And and don't forget, let me just say this to Karen and everybody else. What we're doing here is really abbreviated. So, Mark, how do people set up a longer reading with you? What is the best way for them to do that?
Certainly, kindly visit my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. That's the only way to contact me is through my website. And it explains on there how to sign up for my newsletter. I've got online light circles coming up on September 27th and 28th, which are limited to 6 people each. Everybody gets a reading. You can find out about all that by visiting my website, and also about scheduling a one-on-one reading on the phone as well. So everyone, please visit my website, afterlifefrequency.com, just like my latest book, The Afterlife Frequency.
And Karen, that's not just for you, but it's also for the other callers that call in, because when Mark says I got 80 people here, he takes the loudest voice, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, your mom was coming through no matter what. Yeah.
All right, Emily, who's next?
Okay, up next we have Debbie from Illinois. Debbie, you are live.
Hi, Debbie. Welcome to The Psychic and the Jock. How are you? How can we help you? Did I say Psychic and the Jock? What the heck was that about? Hey, Debbie, how can we help you?
Yes. Well, I've had about 9 passings this year. People who were close to me. Most of them came from May and June until July. I'm just wondering if anyone want to connect with me.
Okay, wow.
Our hearts.
Yeah, definitely. Our hearts go out to you. I mean, that's just one death is hard enough to process. I'm picking up on a female energy who feels like she's on your generational level. So this could be a sibling, a friend. I'm getting a female on your level, and with her, I'm having such a hard time with my throat. Like I feel like I'm trying to swallow, but I can't. And I feel extremely nauseated. What this indicates to me is, Debbie, is that she was having difficulty eating and or holding down food prior to passing. But a lot of times nausea is a cancer indicator. It doesn't always mean cancer, but it could. But in this case, I'm headed in that direction. And I'm also feeling lumps in my throat. So that is an indicator that it could have been a cancerous condition that got into her lymphatic system. In other words, it means it metastasized. Does this make any sense to you?
It could be
you got to speak up, please. We can barely hear you.
It could be a friend's husband.
No, this is a female.
Okay.
Anyway, let me see what she wants you to know. Okay. She said you're going in overdrive, and she keeps showing you going for the cash. What she's telling you is you got to put the brakes on your spending, because something's going on with you where you're ready to start going through a lot of cash and really delving into finances. And she's telling you, put the brakes on that, put the brakes on that, put the brakes on that.
Right. I understand that.
Okay, so you can figure out who she is later on. And now I got a guy coming through who feels like he's connected to you through your father's side of the family, or rather it's a male connection. What it is, when my left hand tingles at your dad's side of the family, right hand tingles at your mom's, right, left hand is tingling. So I got a guy coming through here, and he is just surrounded by really heavy smoke. And it's not cigarette smoke, it almost smells like pipe smoke. Okay, and this gentleman was older, a lot of lines in his face, is kind of a grandfatherly look to him, and boy, are my lungs burning up. So this guy definitely had lung issues, pulmonary disease prior to passing, and he said he didn't give a damn, he enjoyed a good smoke. Does this guy make sense? Now, I don't mean to laugh, but I kind of like him. He's definitely had his own mind.
Yes.
Okay, what was his relationship to you? Friend, cousin, uncle, what?
More of a friend.
Okay. All right, let's see what he wants you to know. This guy had one heck of a sense of humor, didn't he, Debbie?
Yeah, he could.
I had to say that to preface his message. He goes, "Yeah, it's a real drag. All those people died, Debbie, but ain't you glad it wasn't you?"
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is not normally a message. And Dr. Pat's been working with me for years, but what he's telling you, and he's making the joke, but now he's saying, rejoice in the life that you have and every day that you're given here. He said, what you've been through is hell. It is crushing. He says, we know you feel like you're walking on shards of glass in your bare feet. He said, we, meaning all your spirits, know this. He said, but it is your mission to learn from that, to have a new appreciation for every day that you draw breath. And that is exactly what he wants you to know.
Okay.
Dr. Pat?
Yeah. So what did you hear? I want to ask you a question. What did you hear Mark come through with for you as a message? Because there's a theme here. I wondered if you picked up on it.
Yeah. In fact, I do believe it wasn't someone that just passed recently, but within the last couple of years. And his passing date is the 6th of September.
Wow. Okay. The reason I'm asking this question is that, and we are always very mindful of what we say to people. Neither one of us are medical doctors, so
Correct.
I preface that. But my sense is there's something that you got to clean up in your own life, just to put it bluntly. Am I correct with that?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what it is, correct?
Yes.
You also know not to waste another minute to take action, correct?
Right.
And are you going to do that?
Yes.
Bingo. My mission's done here. I don't like to get into a lot of personal detail, but it's very important for you to do that and do it now.
Okay.
That didn't sound very convincing. Give me a better okay on that, would you?
Okay.
That's something I'm familiar with. I get that all the time from my best friend. It's like, okay. Like, yeah. It's a real okay, isn't it?
Yes. And he did pass from cancer. And,
okay. Yeah. Look,
he's
our hearts, did you hear the beginning of the show? If you didn't, let me reiterate for you.
okay.
You know, Mark said it best. Having one passing is a lot.
Right.
Having multiple passings, there's no word. There are no words. It's hard to find the words. That's what Mark's gift is. You know, Mark's gift is writing incredible books that everybody can read and understand. And then the reason we do this show is because when the messages come through, you heard the call previously, and I was really struck by that call where, the person's mom was coming through out of 80 other people and was like, this is the deal. right?
Right.
With you, there is a voice coming through that's equally loud. But that message is about something you got to do to take care of yourself. And we started this show today that charity in the heart begins with having charity for yourself. And every caller today, including the first call we got when we opened up the phone lines here with Jennifer, you know, what the messages are and what came through is about caring. Now, if you're going to care for yourself, you got to take action. Got it?
Right.
Okay. Are you going to take that action? Are you going to do what you need to do?
Yes. Can I explain why that makes a lot of sense to me?
Yes, please. Please, because I'm not willing to divulge what I think I know personally, and Mark certainly doesn't do that. So if we can help you further on this, please.
Okay, it would have been my ex, and he passed on the 6th of September on my daughter's birthday, and that was her father.
There you go. That makes sense why he would have come through to tell you about having a new appreciation.
Right. We remained friends, and I helped his wife take care of him towards last. So it all makes sense.
So where are you with the daughter today?
She lives not too far from me.
But how is your relationship? How's your relationship?
It's okay. It's
see that bingo. And what do you mean it's okay? Is there anything that you can do differently? You don't have to tell me. You can just say yes or no.
Probably yes. But it's kind of complicated. So
it is complicated.
Right.
Believe me, this is a heartbreak for you, and I can feel it.
Right. Yeah, it's been very hectic because most of the deaths don't directly involve me, but they do. Yep. I don't know how to explain that, but it was really, really rough on my daughter because she had COVID at the time that her dad passed, so she couldn't even be there. And so I don't know. She's got a lot of anger in her. Let's put it that way. So
you know what counterbalances anger? Love. So I'm going to invite you to do something. You don't have to say you're going to do it, but I want to invite you to have a practice every day where you're holding space for love, your love for her and her love for herself. I can only imagine what somebody would feel like not being able to be there for somebody they love passing. So if you can hold in your heart, I'm not telling you to do anything, I'm not telling you to reach out to her, but this is how we started, Mark, the show today. If you can find in your heart to hold love for her, for yourself, importantly, and for the situation, that's going to heal this, okay?
Okay.
Thank you for calling in.
Well, thank you guys for helping me.
That's why we're here. And check back with us. And thank you so much for calling in. And I'm very sorry for all your losses. You are amazing. And remind yourself of that every day, that you are amazing. And the reason I'm saying that is when you said how you helped your ex's wife take care of him as he was dying of cancer, that's exactly what this show tonight is about. That charity.
I had to wipe my nose there. I'm so crying here with this.
Yeah, it absolutely.
I apologize to the audience, but I'm just like,
charity
I'm so touched.
Charity begins in the heart, and you are the living example of that. So with that in mind, take an appreciation of every day, and like Dr. Pat said, reach out to your daughter and let her know how much you love her.
Right. I try. I do.
You know, I had a conversation with another woman I work with who's in a very, very difficult situation with her daughter. And I said, look, sometimes you're not going to get a message back, but sometimes all you need to do is send a message, a text message saying, Mary, I love you. Jody, I love you. Anna, I love you. That's it.
Yeah.
Not how you doing, not what are you up to. It's a simple, honey, I love you.
Yep.
Unconditionally. That was what Mother
Right.
Teresa was about. Thank you so
Right.
much thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for calling
Thank
in.
you.
Wow. What a great show. Wow, Mark.
Wow. Well, this is exactly why we're doing this show. And I want to thank our callers tonight. I want to thank everyone else who's listening to us. Linda in Washington, please call back next week. And the other people that are calling in, call back next week, because we're going to have a very special show. Every show is special, but next week we're going to be talking about suicide. And please tune in, because that's something that has touched all of us very deeply.
And that's next week is National Suicide Awareness Week, I believe it is, correct, Mark?
Yes, I believe so.
Yep. And you're going to hear stories. You're going to have the phone open for you. And I know sometimes it's hard for y'all to call in that have had people in your family that we put into that category. I'm one of those people, and it took me decades for me to talk about my mom. But this show is for you guys. Mark, thank you for an incredible job tonight. Thank you so much for everything you do to help people.
Well, you too, Dr. Pat. And thank you to all the listeners. We have the most amazing audience in the world. God bless all of you.
Yep. And thank you, Emily, and all of you that are picking up these phones right now. Thank you so much for doing all that. See you next week.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.